Hello and welcome back. I am Damien with Project Omnia, and today I'm here to watch and react to episode 23 of Vinland Saga. Now, last time we had Thorfinn versus Askeladd, and, well, that wasn't really much of a duel, which, of course, Thorkel mentioned in the middle of it. It was more just a one-sided beating with Askeladd just thrashing the fuck out of Thorfinn. And barehanded, mind you. Didn't use a weapon. Nothing at all. And really, it was him being harsh and giving Thorfinn a reality check. And that reality check is that Thorfinn really, I mean, he's not a warrior. He hasn't really changed from the days when he was a young child, when when his father was first killed and he swore revenge and all that. That's basically just what he is. He is a very angry child, and for that reason, that's why he has made no progress in the last 10 years towards his goal of killing Askeladd. And Askeladd himself kind of proves this by telling his own story about his childhood, where he was with his slave mother, who, his father abandoned because, of course, his father was this high status position and everything. Lowly slave wench. Fuck that bitch, right? So, that's how things are. And then one day she kind of just snaps and was sure that Olaf, his father, going through the village, the town, was Artorias, right? And so she goes up to him and putting her hands on him and everything, and he's about to kill her. So Askeladd, in that moment, his naivete about the stories of Artorias and stuff that his mother used to tell kind of shattered in that moment. He realized he was the only one who could do anything. So, I mean, he ended up saving his mother's life, and that ultimately was the game changer for him. That got him closer to his dad, who realized, after a very brief battle, that was his son. Well, then he had Askeladd live with him and train every day and everything. Well, in, I think it was 3 years. It might have been an even shorter time, but in like 3 years' time, he had gotten good enough and devised a plan to kill his father, and that's exactly what he did. He ambushed him either in the middle of some nookie or just while being asleep. But in general, he was with his pants down in bed and had no idea anything was coming when Askeladd just kind of barges in and kills the bitch and him. So, really, that's kind of the message that I was getting from it. I have seen some people speculate about, and I'm pretty sure Askeladd mentions this in the episode, is that really Thorfinn hates himself for basically for being too weak to do anything back then. And I mean, I can see that. I'm not sure if that's entirely the case or not, but we'll see how things progress, more go on, and I might understand it a bit more. But yeah, so I am really excited to jump into this episode. There is some work going on outside, just a few houses down, so you may get some noise from that. Hopefully it's not too bad, but I really don't want to wait any longer, so we will begin this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Ooh, beautiful shot. Wow. That should be my thumbnail. Oh, Day of the Imperial Council, huh? Looks like shit, dude. In a bad way, Thorfinn. So I wonder if he did get separated from Askeladd. Yeah, and this is going just like Askeladd planned. Yeah.
いやいや、クヌート派にはあのトルケル殿が加わった。これはラグナルの喪失を補ってあまりや。
Yeah, it really does.
トルケル殿は政治の出来の男だ。
Yeah,
クヌート様の器量では持て余すわい。そういえば、クヌート派にもう一人加わったのがいたな。
Askeladd.
確かアシェラット、灰まみれとかいう。
Sir Swin, come on, give us Harold. Look at Floki's bitch ass. Man, I really want Thorfinn to learn that he's really the person he should be, you know, at the throat of.
トルフィンはどうした？
Yeah, where is he? Guys, it wasn't Harold, it was Canute and Swin then.
バカなガキだ。
Yeah, yeah.
おい
So disoriented. Your mind's playing tricks on you. Hey, you killed some innocent dude? Oh, fuck no. Oh, damn.
なんだこのガキよ。
無視してんじゃねえぞこの
Oh, shit.
なんと。てめえ、このまたお前か。
Oh, shit. Yeah, there's definitely separation
正式な
happening.
処罰は追ってす。
So, what's gonna happen with Thorfinn now?
積年の望みは叶い、ついにこの地イングランドは世の滑るところと相なった。また古き友トルケルと我が息子クヌートも神々の家具により我が元へと帰り来た。そなたには神領よりマーシアの統治を任せる。父と共にこの地を良き国にしようぞ。噂はやはり噂に過ぎませんか。いや、わからぬぞ。真実であればこそ、ああいうやり方は
Exactly.
諸君らにも勝てる。王の反応が俺の予測の域を出ていねえ。
Yeah.
この地には未だ王に対する恐れを知らぬ無礼な者どもがおる。世は奴らに心中を進める使者を使わしたにもかかわらず、連中は二度にわたって跳ねつけおった。
So, kill them.
そこ
Destroy them all.
ウェールズ、かの地の者どもに
Oh. So that shook Askeladd. He wasn't expecting that.
面会だ。
What's it gonna be?
ただの船乗りだ。
Life. It's life. Yep. Well, that bald ass head anywhere.
トルフィン
So is he gonna go home now?
11年か。
He's gonna keep doing this, kid, pushing people away.
どれほど辛い思いをしてきたか。お前の言う通り、わしにはわからん。だが、今でも昨日のように思い出すんじゃよ。パチパチとはぜるいろり、うまそうな鍋の匂い、トールズ、ヘルガ、ユルバ、そして幼いお前の笑顔をな。
Yeah. That was ripped away, dude.
船乗りは海と戦っとるんだ。
Yeah.
戦士と同じように。
So about persistence.
己の誇りをかけてな。
not sure if I exactly get what he's trying to get at there.
トールズがどうあってもお前を故郷のアイスランドへ連れて帰る。それがトールズに対するわしのけじめだ。
I'm a good friend, man.
先ほど一瞬のことです。ウェールズと聞いて顔色を変えました。ウェールズにあやつめの弱みにつながる何かがあるやもしれません。
フローキに話したことはね、たとえ知っていたとしても俺への嫌がらせのためだけに全軍を動員するなんてことはありえない。
Yeah.
なら考えろ。時間はね。
He doesn't want whales to be fucked up. Yeah.
王子を立てて反旗を翻す。
Yeah. Not looking good. You gonna go home, kid?
遥かな西、海の向こう、
Vinland.
たわわに果実が実り、真っ青な草原が波打つ新天地。ヴィンランドだ。トルフィン。
ヴィンランドだ。国に戻って少し落ち着いたら一緒にかの地を目指そう。
Yeah. Why?
お前も言っていたじゃないか。トールズも行きたがっていたと。トールズは戦いを逃れてアイスランドに来たんだ。生きていれば。トールズもかの地を目指したに違いない。
Depending on the circumstances. Yeah.
誰もが平和に暮らせる豊かで温かな地。
Yeah, man. Fuck all this fight.
作ろう。
Didn't get you anywhere. We look where it's gotten you, dude.
ヴィンランドならきっと。
Yeah. Come on. Yeah, I really like this OST too. Man, this fucking
yeah.
episode's been full of them.
ウェールズっていやさ、お前俺に追われてあそこに逃げ込んだじゃんよ。
Yep.
あれは一体どういうからくりだったんだ。
Uh-huh. Thorkel's
なん
not
でウェール
stupid.
ズ人たちが
Yeah.
お前に味方したんだ。
Yeah.
おふくろの墓がある。あの地は俺の故郷。
So he doesn't want to see it tarnished by war.
オラフの子アシェラッド殿、御前に進まれよ。
Find it quite suspicious that they're bringing him up.
たく。
I know he's got to find it suspicious as well. You can kind of tell on Knut's face, he finds it suspicious.
Oreってやつはどうしてこう土壇場の隙がないのかね。
Yeah, he knows this isn't good. He's not a fucking moron. Another great episode as usual. So, you know, we kind of see the fallout from things. I mean, Thorfinn had followed Askeladd and Knut and Thorkel, it seems, but in general, he wasn't with them this episode, and he ends up getting into some trouble because his mind's playing tricks on him. I mean, he's really taking his defeat, his overall failures over the last 10 years, and just the entire situation brought on by his ass whooping in the last episode. So hard that it's really, I mean, it's causing all sorts of things. I mean, he's having delusions, thinking this random dude was Askeladd walking by, calling him a stupid kid. So, you know, he kicks their asses because they're kind of dicks about it, and gets thrown in jail, and we get Leif coming in, having a discussion with them, and basically kind of reaffirming, who Thorfinn was, what life was like before Thor's was killed. Then, of course, ultimately who Thor's was at his moment of death, and the things he would have wanted, and how through their actions, or Leif was using himself as an example, how would Thor's want him to continue on without him, and in Leif's eyes, and I think this is relatively accurate, given the circumstances. I mean, things would be different if circumstances turned out a little different, but in this situation, it's to bring, it's to help Thorfinn, and for him, he believes the help will come through bringing him home, and then once he's healed from being home, then they could both go to, they could all go to Vinland, right? And get away from all the slave trading and the wars and the fighting and all crazy things that come with the human condition. I mean, of course, they're not really going to get away from those things, even if they were to go to Vinland, but we always kind of aspire for things like that, kind of unattainable goals, but in general, what we're really just searching for is just something better than what we currently have, right? But it's always a fleeting battle, because if you're always looking for better, then yes, you can keep improving, but there is no end mark to that. It just never stops, right? You just have to keep going and going and going and going and going and going. And that's kind of what, we do throughout our entire lives. It's really a microcosm of it. We are a microcosm of how reality is, and how things just keep evolving and changing and getting better and bigger and faster and lighter, louder. I mean, just anything you can think of. And depending on what scale you're talking about, I mean, it just keeps expanding, keeps evolving. It never, ever, ever stops. And we human beings and our experience and how we live our lives are really a microcosm of that. And so it's really, I enjoy it, I guess. I mean, I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, so I guess I should just cut that there. But on the flip side, not just, because obviously this whole episode was not just about Thorfinn and Leif, right? You have King Swin. Well, actually, yeah, before we even get into Swin and Askeladd and their big brainness going on over here, really it started with all the nobles for the internal council happening. The rumor mill is doing what Askeladd expected. It's really feeding this idea that King Swin wants Canute dead, wants Harold to take over. Now, King Swin tried to counter that when the council began by giving the quote-unquote most prosperous part of England to Canute to control, right? Mercia. And obviously some people could take this as, oh, well, that kills the rumor. But as one noble in the crowd correctly pointed out to, I believe, probably one of his vassals, is that, I mean, they could just eat. If the rumors were true, that would easily be the move that King Swin would make. And it would be because, of course, you want to throw suspicion off of you, right? So, obviously, it's probably going to work in some regard, but it's not going to work on everybody, right? And that goes along with the saying is you can fool some of the people all the time, but you can't fool you can't fool everyone all the time. It's just not something you're going to be able to do. So, you had Askeladd, basically just at this moment, he's just really happy with everything. Everything's going exactly as he planned, and that's when King Swin kind of brings up the Wales. He brings up Wales and says, he's talking about these rebellious factions within England, and he brings it to Wales and how they're going to attack in the spring. Of course, that had Askeladd shook, and Floki noticed that, and of course he mentioned that to King Swen, and so now Askeladd has to be even more careful, because like he just wants to prevent war from happening there altogether. So this isn't like oh, how can I ensure Wales comes out victorious, because he didn't even want a single battle to happen on this land, right? Because he didn't want it to be destroyed and all all the horrors that come with war. He doesn't want that to come to Wales. So right now, I mean, the man is just absolutely racking his brain trying to figure this out. And then, of course, Thorkel asked him about his connection with Wales, because he knew he went through there when Askeladd was running from him, right? And Askeladd told him the basics. I mean, that's his homeland, it's where his mother grew up. So now Askeladd has a better idea, or not Askeladd, Thorkel has a better idea of, who Askeladd is. I don't really not a complete picture, but a much better one than most people, right? And then it was at that moment, because, they had been handing out the riches for nobles and their land, and their vassals, right? And so Askeladd gets called up for Canute. And it's where the episode ended. But of course, I mean, Canute knows this is some kind of power play, though, where we don't exactly know what's going to happen here. And then, obviously, I mean, you can see it on Askeladd's face. Askeladd knows. He's an idiot. And he's, like, that's kind of the great thing about his character. It was like, yeah, I really like Thorkel and how he's, like, a normal, like, he's not, like, your typical battle horror, but he's still, like, he likes the physical aspect of battle, right? The actual swinging of the axes and cutting through motherfuckers. That's the part of battle that Thorkel really enjoys. And I love that archetype and those kind of characters, and that's really great. That's why it's one of my favorite characters. But something I've discovered in more recent years that I also really enjoy are characters like Askeladd. And that is, he enjoys the mind game so much when it comes to the mental chess that is war and the politics of it and everything. He loves that. And when a character truly enjoys stuff like that, it's really fun to watch. So I have definitely enjoyed that. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on episode 23 of Vinland Saga. And if you like this reaction, go ahead and leave a like, comment on the reaction and or the episode. And if you're brand new, subscribe if you wish. And I will see everyone in the next video.